first thing that we need to do is probably, what I like to do is set it up in Webflow. So as you can see, so far I've just got a div, and I've set that to flex layout, vertical, and got everything centered at the moment. And then as you see in the design, we've got 2 columns in this kind of vertical rule in the middle. So basically we want 3 div blocks in a row. But in order to do that, because as I showed you, this is set to vertical. So what we need to do is bring in another div, which is going to act as the wrapper. So I'm going to just call this icon wrapper, and that's just creating the class there. Yep, so that's all set, and then we need to click here, which is flex layout, and we want it horizontal, we want it in the center, and we'll leave all this for now, and we can play around with that later, and we'll give this a bit of padding. I mean, what you can do is like we can look exactly, that's set to 35 in Sketch, and all I do to do that is hold the option button and drag to whatever element you want to see the distance, and the distance is in pixels, so that's 35 pixels from the title there, so I just did a 35. Actually it should be 25 because this already has 10 margin already, so we'll just take away 10. Okay, so that's our wrapper set up, and now we need 3 divs, so I'm going to drag that in, and then I'm just going to go control paste, and there are 3 div blocks. And inside each of these blocks we have an image file, or an image block that's going to be used to contain the icons that we made earlier. So to do that, you go add element, and we've just got to find the image element, so click on that and drag it in to the div block. Actually, an easy way to do this would be probably to just set up one div block and then copy and paste it and replace the image, so we're going to do it that way. So we'll leave that for now, and we'll just focus on creating one. So we've got our div block, we've got the image inside ready for the icon. Just going to go to the style, create a class. I'm just going to call this icon wrapper, or whatever you want really. Oh, I think we already have a class called icon wrapper, so I'll just call this, let's call it icon image. Okay, and now we don't need to do anything with the settings here. All we need to do is click on our image inside that wrapper there, and you can do that in the inspector panel or find it in the the view here. So I'm just going to click on image, and what we want to do is go to settings and replace image. But before we do that, we need to export our images in Sketch. Now to do that, as you can see, you want to make sure everything's grouped up nicely, and if you remember I mentioned earlier that I have these bounds here, which is just to keep everything together, and not to make sure the sizes are reasonably similar. So just make sure that's hidden at the moment, and this is all grouped up, and as you can see that's all grouped up, not particularly neatly, but it does the job at the moment. But just make sure this group is selected here, and then you want to go make exportable and make sure PNG is selected, and we want the size to be ×2, because also, as you notice in Webflow, when you bring in an image you can do this high DPI setting, which will make it sort of like better quality, but in order to do that we have to export it at a 2x size, and then select that HDPI setting or high DPI setting, which will basically, I don't know exactly how it works, but it's like basically doubles the resolution of the image, I guess. But yeah, so we're just going to click on that and export. And I haven't really got a folder set up. I mean, if I was doing this more properly, I should have like a folder to contain all the assets, but at the moment I'll just put it on the desktop. And for SEO purposes, I'm going to say residence 47 Toolcock, which is where the area where the residence is, Cambodia. This is just for, you want to make sure when you're exporting images and stuff like that, that they have a title with good keyword and things like that, which will just improve the overall search engine optimization. And the clients often ask me to do that, when I'm working on sites, and I've got 1 or 2 clients at the moment who keep me on a monthly kind of basis, like a retainer, to do ongoing kind of SEO work, and this is just a quick tip that you can use. And then we're going to go save, and we're going to do exactly the same with this, so just double check it's all nicely contained. Yep, that all looks good. I'm just going to go make exportable, export size 2 times PNG, and we're going to go again just the same 47 tool cork Cambodia. We'll just have it as the same to get those keywords in and save. Oh, we have to change it because I've already got one. Let's just go contact versions 47. Okay, so they're both saved on the desktop. So now we go back here and we're going to replace our image, upload an image because we don't have any in our asset manager yet. Go to the desktop and scroll it through all the stuff that I've got here. And let's see if I can find it. Here we go. That's our icon here. Just take a minute to upload. I'm going to make sure this HDPI, because as you can see, we can't really see very well. If I can drag this up a bit, without that, you know, it's basically doubled the resolution of what we have here. So, for example, we have it at 182 by 201, and at the times 2, that's going to make it 364 by 402, I believe. But we want to maintain that really high DPI resolution, so we're going to click on that, and that makes sure it's really nicely polished for like retina displays and those kind of things, and then close that. And as you can see, that is how you bring in an icon that I drew in the beginning, made in Sketch, and now we've exported it and put it into our live Webflow site. And if we click on preview, we can see that live here. I mean, we need a bit more space in our so we're going to just go 75 view height just so you can see it. As you can see, that is our icon that we drew earlier and now is live, or not quite live, but in development online, and it's all coded for us. We didn't have to touch a piece of code, and just simple as that. And simply to get the second image in, we're just going to control and paste that. We need to add a bit of margin here, so it's about 136. I think that's going to be a bit too much. Let's have a look. 136 margin. Let's take a look how that's looking. Oh, that's okay. And then to what's really awesome about Webflow, when you copy and paste something in, we've got all the class name has remained the same, so all our styling is going to be consistent whenever we copy and paste that div block in the site. And if we just go into the image, we can easily just go replace image, upload image, what we did earlier, and then just get the contact image here. And that's going to upload. And as you can see, that's our wonderful contact image. So the final thing we have to do now is just add that little bit of text underneath here. And as you can see, to do that, what you have to do, go add element. I'm going to drag a paragraph. I mean, you can drag it directly here, but I find it a bit difficult to do that. So I just try and add it into our block in the kind of inspector view here. Oh, we didn't really need a full paragraph. And as you can see, because we've got the Flexbox layout set up, it's gonna like resize and stuff like that, but that will all be sorted out once I add the text in here. I think that is just about tool cork, and then quickly go in here, gonna center that up and give it a bit of a top margin as well. And of course the font is not correct. This is just the default, I think, Arial font in Webflow, and we're using a Droid serif in Sketch there. And then again, we can just copy that over to here, and it's going to be book an appointment, book a viewing, I think, book a viewing, and that's it. And all we need to do now is just add that horizontal rule in the middle here, which is quite, it took me a while to work out how to do that in Webflow, because you don't have like an HR horizontal rule like element, so you have to do it kind of a different way, but it's not too bad. So you just add another div block in here, and as you can see, because we've already got that Flexbox layout done here in the horizontal, it's going to align nicely in the center. And then what you do is you just scroll down, and we're going to add a solid color, and let's just find on Sketch what we, so 313131, that's our hex code. We just can pop that in here, and I think our opacity was all the way down to 20, and as you can see at the moment it's way too big. So if we go again into Sketch, you can see that the thickness is 3, so that's 3 pixels, so we can just go 3 pixels, and also the height, or the length is like 186, so we'll just do 185 height. And it's not quite centered in the middle. Maybe we've just got to edit something quickly in the there we go, align center. And as you can see, that's another awesome thing about Flexbox. It's like so easy to just align elements really nicely within a row and stuff like that, and it's really convenient. The only thing I would warn you about is using Flexbox. I recently built a whole site using the Flexbox layout, but then when I took it to the client who was viewing it in Internet Explorer, it didn't work and it was all messed up because Internet Explorer doesn't fully support Flexbox yet, which is unfortunate. But I tend not to build all that much for older versions of Internet Explorer, and there are some pretty useful plugins you can use that kind of translate your Flexbox code in Webflow. As you can see, if we go to the preview here, we can see our icons are all nicely lined up here with our horizontal rule in the middle. Like I said, of course it would look a lot better if we, improve the font and stuff like that, but you've seen the whole process of bringing something that you've drawn by hand and bringing it into Webflow, and it's really quite a simple and straightforward process, and we don't have to touch any code, which is awesome. And the final thing I said I'm going to do in this video is show you how to do some quick animation. So as you can see, if we click on this image here, and we want to go to interactions and create a new interaction, and basically interactions allows you to make really as complex as you like, really. I haven't played around with interactions all that much because I try to keep things quite like minimal and not too distracting, but I do like to make some nice hover animations and things like that. Yeah, and again, you don't really have to touch any code. And soon Webflow are going to be releasing Interactions 2.0, which is going to allow you to do kind of all sorts of things like parallax scrolling and a lot more complex animations and things like that, which is going to be really awesome, and I can't wait for that to sort of come out. But anyway, in order to make a simple, we're going to just sort of make a simple interaction where when we hover over the image or the icon we made, it's just going to kind of scale up a little bit. So I've selected the element here, that image. I think just for consistent purposes, I'm going to give this a class real quick. Let's call it icon for now, and we'll just do the same here. Then we go here, create new interaction, and as you can see, it's quite a simple layout. This is the name of the interaction, so we're just going to call this simple scale hover, if I can spell, and the initial appearance is going to sort of stay the same, so we don't really have to touch that at the moment. And then if we go into triggers, you can see here we have hover already as a preset, and that's going to bring this new kind of drop down. It does take you a while to find your way around the interaction, so I highly suggest that you check out the excellent tutorial series on the Webflow website of how to make interactions, but this is just kind of a simple, quick way to do it. Yeah, just a brief overview. Okay, and as you can see, it's quite self-explanatory, so when we hover over, we're going to add something new here, and you can give it a title if you want. I don't know, we're not going to call it anything for the meantime, but yeah, if we go into transform, click on the plus arrow, and as you can see, scale is here, and we're going to scale this up to something like, that's a bit too big, 0.05 maybe? Yeah, that looks pretty good, and if we want we can skew it or move it, but in the meantime I think just scaling it will be fine. And then we can also set the time, so let's do something like 400. Yeah, I think that looks pretty nice. And then yeah, we can change the ease and all that sort of stuff, but we're just going to keep it real simple for now. And this is the opacity here, which you don't really have to touch in the moment. This is other things like if you want to change the layout, make it invisible, which we're not going to do at the moment. We're just going to like leave it and click done, and hover out. We're going to add this, and we're going to transform to go to scale again, and that's going to just leave everything how it is, and it's going to change to scale to origin, and we can give this a time as well, and that's just going to scale it back to its original size. And if we click done and done and done, we'll go into the preview window here. If we hover over this icon, as you can see, we have quite a nice simple scale animation there. And if we want to replicate that with this other icon, it's just as easy as, copy and pasting like we did earlier. So we just click on the other icon, go over to the interactions here and just click on this simple scale hover that we just created and go preview, and here we go. That's all done here. And now we have that very nice scaling animation. So guys, that was just a really sort of simple and reasonably quick tutorial on how to take something you've drawn by hand, mock it up in Sketch, and then bring it into Webflow without sort of touching code, and a really kind of simple, straightforward workflow that is super fast. So if you even want to just prototype an idea, send it to a client or a developer or whatever you're doing on in your client work and stuff like that, or with your agency, it's just a really simple workflow for trying out new ideas. And yeah, just sort of like within less than an hour you can bring something that you've just quickly sketched down, mock it up, and then bring it into Webflow and add some interactions to it. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and please do let me know in the comments if you liked it and if you like this kind of style of tutorial videos and stuff like that, and also let me know what else you guys would like to see, because I'm really excited and motivated by your guys' comments to make new videos. And yeah, I hope I can keep inspiring you and you can keep inspiring me. But I'm gonna leave it at this at the moment, and I'll be coming up with a new building a product in 12 or 24 hours, depending on how long I think I can do it in the next sort of coming weeks. But in between now and then, yeah, if you like some more tutorials with Sketch, or I've also got Printable on my laptop at the moment, which would be cool to play around with that, or some other general sort of vlogs and videos, just please let me know what you guys like. So I hope you enjoyed this, and please do subscribe, share the video, and I look forward to seeing you guys all in the next video. And just one final thing I forgot, I'm gonna leave the link, the development link to the site that I'm working on, so you guys can see how that progresses. And also, if you guys want to see the sketch file or any other videos of me building this site, let me know, and I'll be happy to do that. But yeah, you can check out this and check out the functionality of it in the description below, in the link that I make. So I hope you enjoy seeing that as well. So thanks for watching again, and see you guys next time.